Hey everyone, Jason Weckerly here. In today's video, I'm doing a book review on the new Ozzy Osbourne book, Last Rites. This is actually the second autobiography book that he came out with in probably about the past 15 years or so. His first one being the book, I Am Ozzy. I actually did another book review, my very first book review here on this page for I Am Ozzy, so you guys can check that out. I actually did that review the day that Ozzy Osbourne passed away, sadly. But, well, this book kind of continues with some of the stories that you read about and learn about in the first book, I Am Ozzy. He kind of touches base on some of those stories, gets a little bit more in depth to certain things that he mentions in the first book. But this book right here, Last Rites, has more to do with the last half of his life. In fact, like the last 10 years of his life. He really opens up about his relationship with Sharon Osbourne and the fact that he cheated on her, unfortunately, and some of the struggles he was going through with sex addiction and some of the drug problems that he picked back up on around the time he did the Black Sabbath 13 album back in 2013. But he is just brutally honest. He writes this book as if he knows or he knew that he was dying. And some of the stories, I feel like in this second book, he gets a little bit more personal, a little bit more honest and down to earth. Sometimes I feel like the fact that he kind of touched base on a few stories in this book from the first book, I feel like he knew that he wasn't being fully honest or he wasn't being fully in-depth enough, so to speak. But he was really, really sick the last 10 years of his life, and especially the last 5 years. From the time the pandemic happened till the time he passed away this year, he did not have a lot of peaceful days in his life. He was struggling from Parkinson's disease. He was unable to walk straight. He was unable to get up or do things for himself. He liked to work out every morning, and he found it harder and harder to get up out of bed and have his morning workouts. It just seemed like he wasn't very happy towards the end of his life. His family mentioned in some podcasts and interviews recently that the last 2 weeks of his life he was very happy. He was upbeat. He was very cheerful. He was excited about the Back to the Beginning concert that he just performed and all the reviews and all the love and praise that he was getting. And I guess it really picked up his spirits and really gave him something to live for, something to work towards in his life. Because the last 5 years of his life, he was canceling his tours, falling down, injuring himself. He was sick. I mean, his Parkinson's disease started taking over. And he writes all about that in this book. I mean, he talks about some funny stories from the Black Sabbath days and from his days when he was younger and the party animal. I mean, it's Ozzy Osbourne. Nobody has to tell you. This guy did a lot of drugs and alcohol, had some wild times in his life, but I really liked this book a lot. I wasn't sure what to think of it because I read I Am Ozzy. I wasn't sure what else I really needed to know about him, and I was surprised that he was able to pack so much into this book and just really lay it on you with some really good stories, some really heartwarming, touching, insightful advice. This is an Ozzy Osbourne you don't normally see or read about or hear about. And it really made me even more sad that we lost him, because out of every celebrity death that I've ever experienced or we've ever seen in the past 40 years of my life on this planet, or almost 40 years, I'll be 40 in January of 2026, but this celebrity death, Ozzy, really hit me. I cried. I felt really odd crying about somebody that I never knew, never met before, and it's just really odd to me to picture this world without him now, and it's kind of bizarre. I mean, we're not going to see his podcast anymore, his TV shows, his concerts, hear his albums anymore. It's really sad. And seeing the way his family is getting through these struggles, watching all the drama with Roger Waters of Pink Floyd, shame on him for saying something so stupid in that podcast. And both sides, I feel like at this point, are kind of getting a little ridiculous. I heard a rumor that after Roger Waters said what he said about Ozzy, I saw the podcast where the Osbournes really laid into him and just really gave it to him and spoke their minds. I thought that was enough, but I heard rumors that Sharon wanted to send dog poop in the mail to Roger Waters. I don't know. Ridiculous. That's taking things too far. Roger Waters was a jackass for saying what he said about Ozzy. Pink Floyd's my favorite band of all time, next to Black Sabbath, and it's kind of hard battling that out in my head. Both of my favorite bands basically fighting right now. I mean, David Gilmour and Nick Mason have nothing to do with what Roger Waters said, but the Osbournes are pretty pissed at Waters. I followed that drama a little bit, and I just think they all need to let it go and move on. Roger kind of ruined his reputation with a lot of people saying what he did. That's something he has to live with, whatever. He's a musical genius, a lyrical genius, but I don't agree with everything he says or that he's done. And the way he treated Pink Floyd, the way he treated David Gilmour, Richard Wright, Nick Mason, and the way he talked about Ozzy was wrong. But carrying on now, this book gets into everything from him cheating on Sharon Osbourne in recent years and going and getting help for sex addiction and how he felt about all that in the tabloids. He talks about his struggles with Parkinson's disease. He talks about preparing for the Back to the Beginning concert and his struggles, tells old stories. It's just an amazing book. I highly recommend reading it. If you guys want to check out my other review on I Am Ozzy, I talk about that book too. These books go hand in hand. In fact, also, Geezer Butler's book and Tony Iommi's biographies, they all kind of tell the same story sometimes, but you get to hear these stories from different angles, different viewpoints, stuff like that. So it's really interesting learning about why they kicked Ozzy out of Black Sabbath in the late 70s and carried on without him, or how Ozzy was feeling about that. He gets into that in this book really in depth. And this book was written like a dying man who knew his days were numbered, and I never read anything like it, to be honest. If you guys like this video, like this review, I'll be doing more book reviews, album reviews, sometimes chiming in with some music vlogs, guitar vlogs maybe. If you guys like this video, subscribe to the page, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think, what your opinions are of Ozzy Osbourne, the whole Roger Waters controversy with the Osbournes, whatever you guys want to talk about. But take care, have a great week.